Surprise, motherfucker. What's up? This is your friendly neighborhood Venger Satanis. Um, I made my last video was about like a hit location table kind of stuff. Like I said, I made one from 1 to 30. It's just so I can just have a randomized way of coming up with the narrative portion of combat. When a player, makes a successful attack roll and they do like 6 points of damage, you know, I personally try to get away from like, okay, you hit 6 points of damage. Who's next? I like to sort of like, narrate the action, what's going on. Like, well, you lunge at the goblin's midsection and you slash him in the side or maybe the bicep or something like that, and that's fine. I can come up with stuff like off the top of my head, but if you're doing that over and over again, especially if you are running multiple games like that day or that weekend or that week, longer sessions, I mean, you can do it, but why not? Why not make it easier? The game master has to remember and has to do so many things while they're running the game that it just makes it easier and maybe more fun to just roll a die over and over and over again and just see where that hit was located. But I have to play test that. I want to see how it works in my own games a few times before releasing it into the world. Not that it's going to be that special anyway, because it's just random locations from 1 to 30. But while I was doing that, it gave me an idea. Why not come up with a hit location table for weird Lovecraftian monsters? Like the bizarre beasts and just weird things that you might encounter in Chult. And I thought it would be fun to come up with some just like weird, crazy names for stuff. Then you can tell the players, like, you slash across the beasts, thoraxa. I don't have it with me. The list. It's online, and I'll put that in the description below. I'll link to that. So let's say you're the Umathrax or something like that. That's not one of them, but it's close. So you slash at the creature's Umathrax, and then the blood spurts out, and it's all purple and glowing, and stuff like that. That's just that little extra touch that makes your players go like, oh, that's crazy, that's unexpected, that's not standard, I've never seen that before. And that's the kind of things I like to sprinkle in to my games, just to make them a little bit more special, a little bit more unique, just raise the bar just that much more. Because you keep doing that over and over again over weeks, months, years, decades of gaming, and then you have a game. Like, I like to think my campaigns and my one shots are like head and shoulders above the rest. So I have a 1 to 20 Eldritch monster location table, something like that, and I put that on my Subscribe Star page, but it's not behind the paywall. It's there as a public post that anybody can read and copy and paste, or I mean, it's just up there as like a blog post. There's nothing really to download, but I suppose you could copy and paste it into a Word document, and maybe print it out yourself or something like that. Eventually, that'll probably appear in an official release, but right now it's just something for fun. that you can use in your own games. I hope you do. I hope you let me know. That would be cool. So yeah, I'll have the link down in the description below for my Subscribe Star page. It's just $5 a month. And if you want to use some content that's publicly available, like this, monstrous hit location table, cool. Think of me sometime when you're on DriveThruRPG or Big Geek Emporium and looking for content and or products, and you see something that I wrote, maybe buy that. Or if you want to thank me another way, maybe write a review of something that you bought of mine or were given and really liked. But if you want to support me and buy me a beer or whatever in the form of a $5 a month subscription, that would be also cool. So obviously you can do that on Subscribestar. There's a lot of little bits of content here and there. There's that hand-drawn Chult character sheet, Crimson Dragon Slayer D20 character sheet, because there's multiple ones. I think there might be 2 or 3 different ones. There's that. There's the Chult Criterion, although that's also for free up on Big Geek Emporium. And there's a variety. So there's like half a dozen little freebies over there. Plus, if I'm running an online game, which I might be tomorrow, then you can get first dibs on that action, which is pretty cool. I think that's, there's something else I want to say or talk about. And I didn't mean to go off and spend like 6.5 minutes on the hit location thing, but it's scary. We're in some scary times. I don't know if anybody has seen that speech. I think it was last night. Dark Brandon Rising. I'll just say that. Hashtag. That's some wow. That's some scary ass authoritarian. That for me is nightmare fuel. I mean, people want to see or show demonic spider creatures or melting faces or something like that, and they think that's going to induce a nightmare, or that's nightmare fuel. That's what I saw last night. Or not, I didn't watch it last night, but I've been watching a large portion on various podcasts and shows, the news, things like that. That is some wild that's some wild stuff. I would like to know how you feel about that. I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to tell you what to think or how to feel about it. Obviously, you're going to have your own opinion if you're aware of it at all. So if you want to talk about that, comment down below. Let me know. Also comment about the hit location stuff if you want. This is as far as I think any American president has ever gone. Far into, like I said, authoritarianism. It seems like the darkest and most fascist. I know that gets thrown around a lot. I mean, it seems like everybody uses it, both sides. It's ridiculous. But this seemed like some sort of Nuremberg rally. I mean, this was like legit. And I was retweeting a meme, I think by Tim Pool, earlier today on Twitter, and some guy was like, "Stop making him seem cool." I'm like, that's not cool. I mean, it's cool if you're watching a movie or you're reading a book or a TV series or something like that. and you see the bad guys, the villains, have their rally and take power and with their speeches and like Star Wars and the Empire and things like that. That might be cool in that context, but in real life, that's not cool. I don't want to be associated with that. If Trump or anybody else on the right, Republicans, conservatives, if anybody was saying stuff like that, like half the country are what? Domestic terrorists, violent extremists that, are anti-democracy and can't be trusted. I mean, what's next? We should all be put in cages or camps, have our rights stripped away, that we should be lined up in front of a firing squad or sent to the gulag. I mean, that's the logical conclusion that you can draw, that anyone can draw. You label half the country as the bad guys, who have a dagger up to the throat of democracy, that want to plunge the country into darkness and things like that. Yeah, in a real world context, that's not cool. I mean, I happen to think, Darth Vader, Ming the Merciless, guys like that, in a fictional way, yeah, you could consider that cool. But if that was real, I mean, I'd fight against that. I hope a lot of people would. They certainly wouldn't celebrate it, I hope. That's not cool. That's not showing the comparison, the obvious comparison between like the Emperor from Star Wars and Dark Brandon. That's not me. That's not anybody making the Democrats seem cooler. That's bad. I mean, it's bad when an American president does it. It's bad when China does it, Russia, any country. Any country that just seems like they're actually trying to invoke Hitler and the Nazis. That's all the way across the board. That's bad. I mean, the levels of projection. All this time, the Democrats were shouting at us, calling us fascists, calling us Nazis. Look at you. Look at your own side. Look at your leaders. Look at the propaganda that this administration is foisting on us. Yeah, we live in very interesting times. So anyway, would love to get your feedback on any and all of it. And I'm anybody that wants to fight back against that hardcore radical left progressivism. Anybody that feels cheated because they voted for Joe Biden because they thought he was a moderate, or they thought that he was a unifier, or they had something to say about bringing us together. They actually believed that tripe about the soul of the nation and him trying to, rescue the country from Trump or whatever. I assume a lot of people were taken in by that. The few times that he left his basement to campaign, where Trump was holding 20,000 people rallies, and Biden could barely get 20, aside from the meager press corps that followed him around and helped out. There's a lot of people, I assume, that now, if not after everything else that we've experienced with inflation in Afghanistan and Ukraine. I mean, Biden caused that Afghanistan crisis. Biden caused the war in Ukraine, telling Putin that, well, if it's a minor incursion, we probably won't do anything. Killing the Keystone Pipeline and our energy independence. All this stuff. I mean, you could just go on and on and on. Yeah, the levels of projection and gaslighting were just, oh my God, off the charts. So if you want to vent, if you want to talk about it, if you want to comment, discuss, if you want to fight back, you know where to find me. All right, have a good one, and onwards and upwards, better times. I really think that things are changing. Things will turn around. They are turning around. It's just these are the last desperate moments, the death throes of the pendulum that has been swinging one way. It's going back. Reject modernity, embrace tradition.